This is our first morning in Medjugorje. We had arrived late the night before and slept like rocks, but we got up late for us, about 7:20. Breakfast was at 7:45, and I really wanted to go for a run because that plane ride and the other plane ride and the bus ride had made me really stiff, especially on my left hip. So my body was just begging for a little bit of movement. So I took a run, and I'm not a fast runner, so it was just about a mile. And I did make it back for morning prayers and for breakfast.
Yeah, and I did not get a run in, so I waited until later in the day to go on my run. And Megan definitely chose the better part because the afternoon sun is hot, and it's surprisingly cool in the mornings. So that's definitely a good time to get out there and hit the pavement. Yeah, so we're just walking to church here. It's a very nice, 7-minute walk.
Mm-hmm.
Very easy to get to.
Yeah, it's beautiful here. It feels like a city in some places and a small town in others, and even in others deep in the countryside.
Yeah, like you're just in a village.
So this is the most city it gets, I think. The air smells like cigarettes and freshly baking pastries and flowers. There are a lot of fresh flowers in Medjugorje, so it does have a sort of a rose scented, I don't know, just like scent in the air, and it's very pleasant.
It is. And also, one thing that struck me is it feels like stepping back in time about 30 years. Like, we grew up in the 90s, so there's a very strong 90s nostalgia here, at least from what I can see. The cigarettes, like indoor smoking and things like that, it just brings me right back to being 10. So it's just lovely. And you'll see the mountain in the background here. There's a 360-degree view of mountains off in the distance. So everywhere you look is a beautiful view.
And it just feels like you're being cupped and held.
Yes, exactly. And then this street here will take you straight down to St. James. You can see it in the distance there. And we're, like I said, it's about a 7-minute walk, so we're over halfway there at this point.
Mm-hmm. Mass was lovely.
Mm-hmm.
We got a seat, which is not a given, at St. James. And then we met our friend right afterwards. We actually just saw him coming out. We knew he was going to be here, but we couldn't get in touch with him. And I just knew that we would run into him, and we did, just right afterward.
Yeah, he's told me that he had said a prayer to St. Anthony, and St. Anthony is the patron saint of lost things. So, like St. Anthony has always been, his track record was 100%, and we found him right after Mass, and I saw him first, and then I just was giddy because I knew Megan, as soon as she saw him, was gonna freak out. You were more subdued than I expected.
I mean, I did a little squeal and a little jump, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I did, but I was very excited. It's very exciting to see a friend here.
So here's the outdoor pavilion, the outdoor altar as they call it. And there's a lot of masses are said here for larger crowds, as well as different, I think there's a festival coming up later this summer that's going to be held out there. So great outdoor event space. Here we're coming up on, this is the path that leads to the cemetery where Father Slavko is buried, among other folks that are very important to Medjugorje and the history here. This is a mosaic of the luminous mysteries. So there are five stations along the way here that help you pray the luminous mysteries that St. Pope John Paul instituted.
And here's the statue of the risen Christ. Out of the right knee comes water where no one knows where it comes from. So the Holy Spirit moves, and beautiful ways. And one of the beautiful ways that, that the Holy Spirit has moved lately is that we adopted a seminarian. This is my adopted seminarian son, Henry Barrow.
Hi.
We agreed to participate in this program called the Heart of Mary Group at the Cathedral at the Incarnation in Nashville. It's a group of women who come together and support seminarians. And because I am a religion teacher and a mother of young kids and trying to raise them in the faith, I just had to say yes to that call. So by God's grace, we were paired with Henry,
That's right.
And the last time that we saw each other,
Yes.
we were all gathered around our family table talking about how wonderful it would be to be in Medjugorje, and what a wonderful thing it would be to be there together.
Mm-hmm.
You were not going at that time.
No.
We knew
No.
that we were coming here, but you
Yes.
didn't.
No, I didn't. It was kind of an unexpected surprise. I had heard about Medjugorje before many years ago. I was surfing the web and didn't know much about it. Heard a lot of controversial things. Saw that it wasn't really approved by the church, and I thought, okay, I probably shouldn't go to that then. And then I started my propedeutic year as a seminarian with the Diocese of Nashville, and met two seminarians that had been. One had been twice before, and I thought, well, that's very interesting. And so I heard their take on it and what a wonderful experience it was for them, and thought, well, I'd like to go. So I told Mary, I said, if you can get me there, I will go. And then nothing really happened, but people kept talking about it. So it was just like one person after another that I had met had been going, and I thought, okay, well, this is a good sign that maybe one day I will go. But Mary, you still need to get me there. It's not just going to happen. And I had gone to St. Anne's Church in Nashville, waiting for confession. And a woman was there, and she said, have you ever been on a pilgrimage before? And I said, no, I was actually thinking of going on one day to Our Lady of Good Success in Quito in Ecuador. And, she was very kind. She asked for my information, and then she had, given me a little bit of money to come, and I thought, okay, well, this is a good start. And then I had met a couple of other people that had gone or were going. So our vocation director was going to come. There's a Catholic therapist that some of the seminarians see, and she was going to come. And I thought, okay, well, this is great. I still need to find a way to get there. And then, the same woman and her daughter decided to help a little bit more. And then there was another parishioner from another church. And finally, I made my way here. And I found a hotel, and I found a transportation company. I couldn't come with a pilgrimage with other people. The dates weren't going to work out with what was happening in the seminary.
You just got your summer assignment.
I had just gotten my summer assignment, and I thought, well, there's no time like the present. I now have the money to be able to come. So, thank you, Mary. I give her all the credit for getting me here, because I couldn't have done it without it. And that's what I've heard a lot about, is that you really shouldn't attempt to try to come on your own. You should be called to go. And for me, it was by people telling me that I should go, and knowing people that have come or were going to come. So to be able to be called to come is really something that really stood out for me. And I thought, okay, well, this is a good thing. So I left Nashville last Tuesday, and I arrived late Wednesday in Split, and I was coming over the mountains. It's a very mountainous area, and went through tolls, went through 3 checkpoints, and finally crossed over the mountain, and we were just a few minutes away, and then I felt a sudden amount of peace, and I thought, oh, this is, kind of, because I felt heavy, but it was a good heavy. It was like it's just peace. You can kind of just sink into the chair in the car. And I thought, okay, I probably shouldn't take a nap. I want to see everything. But it was a very good experience at the beginning. It's been a good experience ever since. And I've met some good people. One woman from Ireland who's been very helpful, and then meeting you two.
So
because I knew that you were going to be here.
We couldn't coordinate with the way phones work or don't work over
That's
here.
right.
So we met each other as we were all coming out of Mass.
Yes,
It was
yes.
so good to see a friendly face.
Yes, I had prayed to St. Anthony yesterday. Please help me find them. I would like to see them before I go, because I'm leaving tomorrow to go back to Nashville. And so that was great.
All right.
So-
Well, Henry's been showing us around, so we'll try to get some shots as we move around even more on this
Yes.
beautiful late spring day. This is the Garden of St. Francis. Here's a statue to commemorate 7 martyrs who were killed during World War I. And this is the outline of the old church, and they built a little votive chapel right behind it. All right, so here we are the first night in Medjugorje, and we just finished up with dinner, and we met our little seminarian friend one last time. He took us to this beautiful crucifix in the garden.
Yeah. It's, man, I don't even know what to say. This is like, there's like Catholicism in the air here. Everything is, it's just what everyone is doing. Everyone is so normalized that, with like young and old and everyone in between, it's really something. So, yeah, we're just enjoying a beautiful, cool night here. And about to go see the Blue Cross, maybe. We're going to try. Don't know what that is, but
We will soon.
We'll know it when we see it.
We found ourselves very quickly on these unpaved country roads next to these vineyards. A really beautiful walk up to the Blue Cross. And we saw some goats up there on the little landing of this barn there. They were making some noise. It was just gorgeous, a beautiful walk, and we found ourselves all the way at the Blue Cross. Kind of a steep walk to get up there, but we did see the miracle of the sun, which is just another video story's worth, and something that I'm not even sure I can talk about right now, but I'm so grateful.